Okay, we can flip to the next one. I think I've kind of already covered some of what's on here. Yeah, so found poetry, I've kind of already said it's using other people's words to create a poem. Go ahead and flip to the next one. Why would I do that? I've kind of talked about, I think, what's helpful from a mental health perspective. But also as a creative, sometimes you're just not feeling very creative. And I think that the cool thing about blackout poetry or found poetry is that you don't have to have a starting point. You don't have to be the origin of creativity and imagination. You're essentially using something that already exists. And I liken it to collage where you don't in visual art, paper collage, you're essentially looking at other pieces of art or other pictures and then pulling from it. Both of these I think are really helpful when you're feeling kind of stumped in the way of having your own ideas. So that's another reason that I really love found poetry, also collage. Erica, we can go to the next one.
Technical difficulties. Hold on, get set.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. So here's some examples. These are actually these are mine, and I have this whole journal of like blackout poetry, and I couldn't of like my work. I couldn't find any of it. So these are actually more recent, and I did found poetry from my own old journal. So I kind of cut up an old journal of mine and did found poetry and art with it. Um, and so the one on the left, and these are collage art essentially as well. What does it say? I don't have feelings. Oof, I have feelings. Yikes. Right. So that's from my own stuff. The other one, Manic Pixie Dream Girl, someone who doesn't even believe in right or wrong anymore, wild energy, dopamine drunk, but also the level of apathy and alarming. Yeah. So this is something, again with the collage, I'm both writer and artist, so sometimes I Mod Podge. But this is kind of what they end up looking like if you're there's a lot of different ways to do blackout poetry. Some people, if you've seen them, if you just have a permanent marker or a pen, I typically look through the page, underline the words that stand out, figure out what I want to use to create the poem, and then just circle those words. Some people will black out the whole page except for the words that they've picked. You can cut the words out, glue them on a totally separate piece of paper. You can make a whole you can do whatever you want. There's no rules, guys. I don't know if you know that about art and life, but no rules, do as you wish. These are examples from the old journals. And I think I actually did this. I saw Nicole saying, I wish I hadn't burned my old journals. I think I just did this because I didn't have a book at the time. Like I didn't have an old book to cut up at the time. And I guess I didn't want to use a magazine, but that's what happened. Okay, next, Erica, what do we got?
Can I ask a question while you're turning the page?
Yeah, anybody feel free to ask any question at any time.
Okay, so like I think I've always wanted to do this, but then I get all hung up on like, oh, I'm finding words, but then it makes me want to write my own words. And so like is that still a found poem? And how do you like do you have to credit that and be like, well, I found these words here, and then the rest of it is mine? Like,
No, I kind of feel like words belong to the general public. So if you're not pulling like a whole sentence, this is just like my
right?
humble opinion. I'm not pulling a whole sentence. I'm literally finding random words on a page. So
Yep.
it's just a word, it's not, if it's a full phrase, yeah, I would credit it if I put it in my own work. But if I'm creating something and it really is just a random assortment of words from one page or two page or three pages of a book, um, no,
Cool.
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll
Is
like,
anybody
oh,
else here like feel opposed to that? I'm just curious. Does that feel like pretty fair? I've never been asked that question before.
Because what is that poem where you I forgot what it's called when you write and you use lines from a different poem.
Oh, like a it's like
The word is on the tip of my tongue.
it's like a collected I've
Yes.
done that before too, where you're it's
Mhm.
essentially found poetry, but you're using like complete phrases. I've done it in classes like this where I've held workshops and people would write their own poems. I would have them all read and I would pull a line from each
Yeah, yeah,
one and
yeah.
create a whole new poem. Um,
That's
that's
totally different than this. Yeah.
that's different because you're using whole phrases. And so I think if you were pulling whole phrases from someone else's work, sure,
Mhm.
you would want to credit the work that you were pulling it from.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody else has commented. So I assume what I'm saying sits okay with everybody. It feels fair.
No, I think
Um,
that does feel fair.
okay.
You're right. If you're pulling full sentences, or if you're pulling too many phrases from someone, in either one of those um, positions, examples, you would have to credit that person. But you're right, Brooks. If you're going through and you're just picking random words over 2 or 3 pages, then you don't have to credit because those are
Yeah.
just
Thank you.
words.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think that feels fair. I think what I used to do too, I had an Instagram account for a long time that was all blackout poetry, and I would just always at the end in the caption, I would just say what book it was from and who wrote it. And so I was crediting, hey, this is where I pulled these words from. Um, I think is what I did most of the time with that. And if you're interested in playing around with blackout poetry, I think that some of the best books to start with are things that read more like a memoir. Anything that has it's like a lot of I, a lot of you, a lot of adjectives, a lot of heavy descriptors, because it's just better fodder as a starting point. It's harder to create something from, a National Geographic article than it is from something that's written from a point of view where there's just a lot of meaty words. I would say one of my favorite books for blackout poetry was the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. There's a lot of different point of views, and it's all very much memoir. Yeah, I love that book too, Dustin. It's one of my favorite books. I love Barbara Kingsolver. I'm not gonna lie, everything she writes is brilliant. But that one, and then She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb was also a really good one for the same reason. So both of those are generally abundant in the thrift store most of the time because they were bestsellers, and so they end up there often. Okay, so I want to quit yapping at you because a lot of this is really about you actually creating a found poem. And so, what I want you to do is go ahead and start looking at the poems you have in front of you. This is like, Nicole, do not overthink this, my friend. We're just scanning the pages. We're circling in pencil, the words that are resonating, that are standing, that are popping. Um, and you want to make sure you kind of gather as many words as you can because not all of them are going to work in the end. Full permission to, because in blackout poetry, you're typically using only what's in front of you. I'm going to give you permission here to add, I, you, any other thing really. Again, no rules, but let's start with finding words. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to give you guys like, I don't know how much you have in front of you to look at, but I'm going to do like 7 minutes and then we'll go from there. If you need more, we can take it. We need some more time. We got plenty if we do. Thumbs, maybe if there's a thumbs up if we need more time, a little more time. Okay. We're gonna go another 5 minutes. All right, we all got a pretty decent amount of words. Okay. All right, Erica, you can hop to the next slide. Easy day. We already talked about it. So the goal now is to kind of play around with the words that you have, and arrange them into some kind of poem. Keep what works, don't keep what doesn't work. You don't have to go in any particular order. Feel free to add words if you want to add words. Don't just use what you have. Totally up to you. Any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? Okay. And if you do one and you're done, do another one. Add some doodles. Have fun, play around. I'm going to do a 10-minute timer here, and then I want to spend the last little bit, if you guys are willing to share, doing that. Bye, Anna. Thank you for coming. Does anybody need more time? Mostly good. Okay. Um, okay, well, first, how do we feel about the process? Okay, thoughts?
I think
It
it's
was
really fun.
Oh,
Go
who's
ahead, Heather.
talking?
We both
Yeah,
have the
Heather.
same thing. It's fun.
Everybody's just saying fun. Was that the general statement? This is fun. Okay.
My brain has a really hard time with it. Like,
Okay.
I want to love it because it sounds so fun. And I did pull a whole bunch of words. And one of the things I was noticing, I was pulling out a Sylvia Plath collection, and then I was drawn towards a lot of repeated words, um, which was interesting. But then like taking it and trying to make a poem into it is like, I don't know why my brain has a hard time with it. So like I want to practice this and get better at this because it does seem like such a fun exercise.
Yeah.
But it was hard.
Well, didn't you do the thing with Max where he like gave you a whole bunch of chopped up
Yes.
words and then you just
Yes.
pulled them out?
I do have that somewhere. It's sitting on my desk, I think. Like he gave me a little envelope of a bunch of words, and I have put them together occasionally. That's right. I've done a little bit.
You have done some version of this. I think it's cool to, if you have poet friends, like taking each other's poems and
Mm.
rearranging them. Like there's a lot of ways you could really have fun with this in community too. The thing that I'll say also therapeutically about using found words or again in the visual art collage, a lot of time what ends up happening, a lot of times what ends up happening, is what you're drawn to is reflecting something back to you, right? Like you could give me the same page on 10 different days, and the words that are going to resonate with me or that I'm going to pull will probably be different each time because it's reflecting myself back to me in that moment. And so it's another kind of cool, just like therapeutic thing about doing this work is like, oh, like it's interesting, Nicole, that you were drawn to repeated words because you don't use a lot of repeating in your own work. And you don't have to, tell me, but like I would be curious what the repeat was, because I think, is something to consider, perhaps. Maybe not, but maybe. Any other thoughts? I see Dustin, different way to write, putting a puzzle together. Yeah. Um, Loved it. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys are having fun. Does anybody want to share what they put together?
Yeah, I'll share. Nicole, go ahead.
Heather,
No, you can go first. I'll go second.
Okay. I actually have two subscriptions to poetry this year because I had got one and my friend had got me one and I don't know how to cancel it. And so anyway, so I had the copy that I got, I think, in the mail like yesterday. So this fellow's name is Antonio Ochoa. So it's three of his works.
okay.
Temple Bird String Violins. There are 17, but only this comes to mind. Slanted Sunlight touches my dream. Peaceful broken heat. Bow, arrow, wound in your head. Observing the features, you think you heard your parents arguing. Dead poems recreate where it was found. At dusk, we were waiting for butterflies.
That's really beautiful. There's a lot of like beautiful language.
Yeah, that's Antonio
Say the
Ochoa.
line again about dead poems. Dead poems.
Recreate where it was found.
Dead poems recreate where it was found. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
Psychoanalyze me, Brooks. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not. I was thinking to myself, that was the standout line to me. Dead poems recreate. Those are the words that resonated with me from that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Mm-hmm. And something about a bow also. Oh. All right, Nicole.
All right. I don't feel like mine is as coherent, but through the blank windows, wet shadows garland the stone petals and dissolve stars in the crowd. Oracles sprout the tragic emerald fluid and patina drowsy spirits dragging from tragic bottles and pearl birds.
Oh, that's really beautiful too. Oh, you guys picked stuff with like beautiful language. Yeah, these are great words. These shadows, shadow garland. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shadow garland. Oh, that's so pretty.
And Joanna's in the chat. It looks like she was like looking at the same thing as me almost.
Well, where
It's
did
very
yours come from,
similar.
Nicole?
Just random pages
Just the
of Sylvia
Sylvia
Plath.
Plath.
Yeah, just like
Okay.
not even staying on one page.
Yeah. Joanna, do you are you interested in reading yours, or can I read yours out loud?
I can read mine.
Okay, I would love that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Um, I use three different poems. Off the top of my head, I love Emily Dickinson. Hope is a Thing with Feathers. And I also used Maya Angelou's Caged Bird, and then Lucille Clifton's Won't You Celebrate with Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, these are all poems that I've always loved, and I thought they would fit together well. And my poem is Little Bird, Celebrate Life, a warm orange sun, a blanket of starshine perches in the sky, and your soul. After the storm, the sweetest breeze sings the song of freedom. Hope never stops, even facing the shadow of your grave.
Mhm. Yeah, three very hopeful poems. Solid, solid poems. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Shadows again. I think for this one, the standout for me is Little Bird, Celebrate Life. Thank you for reading that.
You're welcome.
Dustin, you there, Dustin? You want to go? Oh, mic's not working. If you want to put it in the chat, I can read it. While you're navigating that, maybe oh, there it is. That was so fast. You did it quick. Okay, let me see what we got here. So this is Dustin's. It's in the chat. I'm going to read it out loud though, because I love to hear out loud. 15 years past, mother, the only truth. I was 8, twisted brass buttons, tombstones, silence, awful wrath, a drug, violence, makeup deep. The worst is over. I hugged duty, never knew that poison. I despised my heart where the shades were drawn, taller than the sky. I knew Ma was gone. The balance ripped open my mouth. In those moments, anyone cried, Mother dear, Mama, wolf. Where did this come from, Dustin? Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of shadow in these. It's interesting. There's shades here and then shadow. It's interesting that you all, there's little pieces the same in all of them. Bonnie, did you want to read yours?
Sure. And I took mine from just what I had, which is a Smithsonian magazine. And so this is
That's
an
a
article.
challenge, my friend.
Yes, that is a challenge. And so this is an article on the classic building of stone walls without using mortar. And this is called Travel. When you go, you see just fine. When it comes to me, a different challenge. Grass fire coming, ground shakes, nothing holds together. I choose dry stone walls, very robust, a feeling of relief.
I choose dry stone walls, very robust. Hold on, I'm writing some of these things down for myself later. Um, these are great, you guys. Sometimes to like with a Nat Geo or Smithsonian or like a more academic article, they are more challenging because there tends to be again like just less descriptive verbiage in a lot of ways, but there's also very different words than what you're going to find like in a novel, and so that can be really fun too. um okay, is there anybody else that wanted to share that didn't share? I trying to see. There's a couple other people in here. Um, any closing thoughts or questions um, before we wrap this up? No. Okay. Well, I so appreciate you all for coming, and I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And I hope you, this is my last. I was only doing 2 virtual workshops, so I hope you all can continue to come to what's being offered and take full advantage of all of this free Hope at Hand stuff, because it's pretty cool that they're able to just um, to offer to offer what they offer. There's some really phenomenal poets offering workshops and readings this month. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you all again for joining us today. And again, I hope that we get to see you at the end of the month. We have our first annual share day. So you can share all of the beautiful poetry that you've created during this month. Check out our website at jackspoetryfest.org/2026 schedule, and it'll have all of the upcoming events coming up. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brooks, and thank you, Erica.
You're welcome.